well prepared. They're
Oh,
both
yeah.
very
Big time.
seasoned players.
Big time.
And we're going to get right into it.
All right.
So we've got Joe coming in with the Hisuian Arcanine and the Fluttermane versus Luka bringing in the Fluttermane and Iron Hands.
The Flutters are here. Here we go.
Flutter Hands are here.
So I think they're both boosters, so I think we see Joe's booster procs first. No, the other one, Luka's actually using Choice Spec, so we just see the booster proc for Joe right now.
There you go. Choice Spec's Fluttermane is an interesting choice here, opting to boost the special attack even more than a Photosynthesis can.
Oh, yeah, but you have to lock in your move. That's the benefit.
That's the trade-off.
The trade-off. So we're keeping this Flutter in on Joe's side. We're putting some damage out and not wasting that booster off. And we do got a -1 on hands already. So I think, do we see a fake out in the Arcanine from hands and then just see some damage output from the Flutter?
We've seen Joe have a tendency to terrestrialize his Arcanine, not choosing to do that in this first turn here.
Interesting.
It is. The fake out on the Arcanine is more likely to happen than any kind of super effective hit on the Arcanine.
Luka doubling the Arcanine, calling Joe switch out, or just wants to put pressure on the Arcanine first. So Luka got a lot done that turn. Joe put on no damage, but he was able to. He's still a -1 hands from that turn, but we got a lot of damage on Arc. It's sitting pretty low. It's ready to go off the field.
We do know that Joe's Fluttermane is faster than Luka's Fluttermane, so going for this Icy Wind in order to bring the speed down even more is going to be really big, especially considering that because Luka is locked into Shadow Ball. He knows exactly what he's going to be doing.
Yes, and I think maybe that was kind of Joe's play to kind of just see what Luka locks into and adapt from there, because you know what the Fluttermane's going to do on the opposing side, and you just kind of have to read what his hand is going to do. So we're going to Icy Wind him, throw some speed down, probably so his Arcanine maybe to outspeed and maybe get off a Flare Blitz or something, and there it is.
Here comes that Flare Blitz.
Flutter slot, and it's done.
Painful loss of that Fluttermane there. Still have the Iron Hands out right now. So
what kind of trade-off are we getting here? Arcanine with 2
recoil.
HP. Oh, he needed only a 2 damage output to this Arcanine slot, and the Flutter stays on the field.
We love that amount of recoil. This Iron Hands only ending up taking 1 damage and recoil damage as well. Gonna knock out both Pokemon on one side. That's Arcanine down, that's Fluttermane down. Ogerpon comes in at Luka's side. Let's see what Joe's going to be bringing in. It's Iron Hands.
Iron Hands. Here it goes. We got some fake out pressure on the hands himself, and the Ogerpon. It's looking to take a little bit of damage here, but I don't think anything's in KO range yet, because we have a Moonblast. Ooh, we got a taunt.
Yeah.
And that is a Swords Dance Water Ogerpon?
It could be, or it could be Spiky Shield, which there it is. Knowing that the Iron Hands coming out can go for a fake out, oftentimes you're going to want to use the Spiky Shield on your Ogerpon just because that's what it can do. Taunt is going to be protected through Spiky Shield, however.
We didn't really see Taunt yesterday from Joe.
No, you're right.
It's an interesting choice on Fluttermane. It's pretty cool, pretty niche. I bet it does great on closed team sheets, but when you have it on the field, you can kind of read what he's kind of doing, the game plan here. He's trying to make sure that the Swords Dance doesn't come up.
Yep.
So now Luka knows probably not to waste a turn going for that move.
Right. Luka now has the opportunity to go for any kind of attack from Ogerpon. Is he going to go for it?
He does. He reads him. Joe puts on the threat, and Luka doubles down and still goes for it.
However, Joe going for that wild charge is going to bring Ogerpon down to a close amount of damage, not fully taking the kill.
Oh, man. Okay, so we get to see Luka's 4th Mon, and what do we have here in the back?
We shall see. But now Luka is sitting in an interesting position where as long as he can get that Ogerpon to attack.
Okay, so we know both of these Landos are just the single Landos Choice Scarf, which is the common set, the Flying Terra, the Terra Blast, the U-Turn, the Rock Slide, the Stomping Tantrum.
So we'll have to see what kind of moves that Luka decides to go for here. Landorus, because the Landorus is Choice Scarf, that is going to be rather fast here.
Yep.
Is it faster than Fluttermane, though, with Photosynthesis and speed?
Oh, I don't think it is. And just depending on the speed investment, but I think if it's a speed booster, which I'm not 100% sure it was a speed boost. I don't remember seeing it. I'm just assuming it was a speed boost.
Okay.
But if it is, I think he will outspeed. So let's take a look here.
So here comes Iron Hands going back to Joe. Out into Cresselia.
He loves this one. He brings it every game. It's just so beefy, and the heals are just so good.
Luka opting to terrestrialize
There it
the
is.
Landorus here.
We're going to see a Terra flying into the Flutter slot, and let's see what we got.
How confident are you on that?
I think he wants to get rid of the... Oh, maybe he doesn't and calls the Protect.
We'll see. We'll see. Knowing that the Fluttermane could protect, he could decide to attack the other slot. Does not. Does, in fact, go to attack the Fluttermane, which is protected. Not happening this turn.
Okay. Interesting play from Luka, switching out the +2 Ogre Pawn, and it seems pretty smart. Now you have a fake out turn on, and then you can Landorus can do some damage on the Flutter now. And I don't think anything's going down on Luka's end with this Moonblast, because he had to have room for taunt,
right.
So that means he's only Moonblast, Icy Wind, and no Shadow Ball. Like I said, it's an interesting set Joe's running.
So here comes the Terra Fairy on the Fluttermane. Terra Fairy Fluttermane is just a word that rolls off the tongue for me at this point. I've been saying that for months and months. Here comes the fake out on Cresselia. That's not going to be attacking this turn.
Straight to Lando. Oh no, he goes for the Iron Hands, and he does not take it out. It's just so bulky. It takes a direct hit.
It is going to drop the Iron Hands' special attack.
Oh no! Oh no!
Here comes the Terra Blast. Is that going to... Yep, that's on the Fluttermane. That Fluttermane is
how much
toast.
Defense?
55.
Yes, it's not gonna hold. So okay, I mean the favor is shifting a little bit. Luka's now, I think, equalized the game to a 2-3, not equalized, because that Ogre Pawn is at like what 4 HP or something in the back. So it seems like it's got to be for a sack turn, maybe to get another fake out. But we'll see kind of what goes on here.
It has been very, very interesting to see both players, what they do with their Iron Hands. Just bringing those hands out, bringing those hands back in, giving themselves the fake out opportunity. Joe deciding not to go for that
fake out
as it gets hit by a Terra Blast. Opting to just do more damage.
Boom. Okay.
The Psychic takes out the Iron Hands, and now the Joe's Iron Hands, having not gone for the fake out, has the opportunity to do some big damage with a Wild Charge onto the Terra Flying Landorus, taking it out in one hit.
No. Okay, if the Lando would have lived there, I think Luka would have been in a really good position, because the Ogre Pawn would have came out. He outspeeds both of these mons, but losing the Lando there, it's just he has a 2 HP Ogre Pawn that has to do 2 KOs, and it's just we double target this slot, and I think it kind of wraps it up.
Well, we shall see. Like I said, I'm not a betting man. But
oh my gosh. The Horn Leech takes the Iron Hands.
Yeah.
And it gets a little health left, but does the Crest have enough damage, being it doesn't do too much damage, to take it out? Here we go.
Here we go. This is the Psychic heard across the world, and it does. And that's a crit to not.
What? It was a crit?
Now, you know what? The world will never know.
The world's always going to wonder if that crit mattered, Mike.
The chat is going to go crazy, being like, no, obviously.
It mattered. It completely mattered. Completely. All right, so well played by Joe. Joe's locking in right here. Well played by Joe.
Taking a very solid game one there.
Just trying to get into this top 8 real quick. Fighting for his life right now.
Yep, absolutely. Now going into the second match, I'm hard pressed to say that Joe and Luka would actually maybe go into the same teams, because I think that just kind of came down to a matter of choice.
Yeah.
Bringing your Iron Hands out, bring your Iron Hands back in, when to fake out, when not to fake out. Maybe the leads will change a little bit in order to not make the exact same thing happen that happened in the first turn of that match. But we'll have to see. Only time will tell.
Interesting. No Urshifu. I guess Joe feels threatened maybe by the Lando, but I mean, even if it has a Terra Flying, crit hits, and I guess it's just outspeeding, and he has Sash, so I don't think Joe still won't bring her issue. I don't think there's a need for it. I think they're both going to maybe just start leading with their flutters and just try and put out damage and clean up at the end, which was pretty much how game 1 went.
Now, I did mention at the beginning that there is the opportunity for Joe to go and bring in the Gastrodon on the Wellspring Mask.
You and this Gastrodon.
But I'm now going to actually go back on that and think that maybe not.
Maybe not.
Hornleech does threaten that quite a bit, but we'll see here anyway. We're going into our next match. It's the same kind of lead. We've got Fluttermane and Arcanine versus Fluttermane and Iron Hands. This is a repeat performance. I like this.
Both competitors vouching to just let's reset on let's play the same leads game 2 and let's see if I can play this a little differently and win on Luka's side, and Joe probably still strategizing, keep the pressure on and play kind of the same turns and just not let Luka get a read on how he played last game into this game.
And again, I'm a huge fan of the dissymmetry between the same Fluttermane, the same Pokemon, not on the same side of the field. They don't need to be there. Get them on the other side. Get them both on the left.
Oh my gosh. The -1 on hands, again, it's just like, this is how we deal with this hands lead. Just do a -1 on it, but I've seen, as I saw James play the other day, he didn't care too much about it. He left it on the field. It's bulky. He can sit there, get the chip for other Mons to do what they need to do.
Yep.
But we're tearing right off the bat where Luka is ready to do some damage. Or is it Joe's side or Luka's side? Let's see.
We will see, but regardless,
Nope.
it is there.
Joe.
It is. It's Joe's.
There.
Well, it might just be both here, because you
No.
know what? Let's all say it together, folks. Terra Fairy Fluttermane.
Oh my gosh. Can we stop doing Terra Fairy? Nope.
No, absolutely not.
Too good.
Yeah, it's far too good.
All right, okay, so here's the issue, because Joe only has one stab move with Moonblast. He does fake out that slot, but Luka does have Shadow Ball, so I don't know if he reads the Protect and knows Joe's not going to protect this game, since he protected last game. He's going to call it. He's going to say, you're not protecting this game. I'm going to just hit you this one.
The Fluttermane does actually survive this at 10 HP.
Dang, respects. That is definitely
That's
calculated, baby.
Calculated.
Oh man, that's a good
Absolutely.
live. That's a good live for Joe. Joe outspeeds both these Mons, and the Iron Hands lived that too. I think we missed how it took that opposing Moonblast too as well.
It did. It did take that quite well. Now, interesting to see that the Fluttermanes both terastallized the same Terra, but for different reasons,
Yes.
right? One Fluttermane wanted to take out the Iron Hands, and the other Fluttermane wanted to take out the Fluttermane. Both of them not actually getting the chance to do so.
Okay, but the difference between this game and last game, now Joe has a full health, or a little bit of docket after the fake up, but a full health Arcanine now,
Right.
and it's going to do a little more than it does last game. It does have Choice Band Extreme Speed, which now it can hit the Flutter, but Luka wants to put the pressure on the Arcanine, get it out as a -1 so it can't output too much damage.
Absolutely. That Intimidate is going to be putting in a lot of work, actually opting not to go for the Extreme Speed, just going for another Moonblast on that Landorus. Now, it did survive. The Iron Hands did survive last turn because of the Assault Vest, but this one just kind of survived because it's him.
And we're going to see a Rock Slide, I think. No, we're going to see a Flare Blitz.
Here comes the
It's a
Flare
Flutter.
Blitz.
And it's,
Not
Dang,
quite
these
enough.
lives are crazy, dude. They're barely holding on. I love it. Okay, so Joe's going first next turn, and oof, we got some pressure. I mean, is it going first? Did we see the Lando go before him?
I have not seen that. That is actually a very good point.
I think
we know that Joe's Fluttermane does go before Luka's Fluttermane. However, again, this Landorus does have Choice Scarf. We're going to be able to see that in this turn right here coming up.
Icy Wind still does a lot of damage. I just don't think it picks up. It's probably going to pick up the Flutter, but it's just. He does have Icy Wind. I don't know if Icy Wind is a choice here. I missed the move selection, but he'll be able to pick up the Flutter and then get a -1 on the Lando to put some speed down for what he's got in the back. But he pulls it out, and he's bringing back in Crest. Give maybe his Flutter some heals. I mean, I think Flutter's going down this turn. He does go for Icy Wind.
The Fluttermane does go before, picks up the double KO.
Good
That is a
swap.
quad effective Icy Wind on the Landorus. an effective Icy Wind on the Fluttermane that just had no HP to live for here.
Yep, Flutter outspeeds that Scarf Lando, so now he's down 2 Pokemon. He gets to see his 4th in the back, and Joe is still sitting with his 4 Pokemon. Saved his Arcanine and back for this Lando coming back in, and for the Ogerpon. It's looking like a strong performance for Joe in this game, too.
Absolutely. We've got Moonblast here. Now, interesting to see that this Iron Hands does still have Fake Out. This Fluttermane does still have 10 HP, so is attacking the Iron Hands really the right thing to do? Let's find out. I'm not sure.
Are we sacking? We're Trick Rooming? We're Trick Rooming.
Are we committing to losing the Fluttermane?
Yes,
it's entirely possible. There it goes.
We're sacking the Flutter, getting the Arcanine in for free for the Intimidate, and we're setting Trick Room up so the Arcanine, I guess, can outspeed the Water Ogerpon. He does go for the Swords Dance, too.
Now, Luka is definitely not throwing in the towel just yet. Is going to have that very strong Ogerpon ready.
All right, now this is interesting. So he set, a Trick Room up for Luka's Iron Hands. So it seems like it's not time to bring in the Arcanine yet, because now his Iron Hands should outspeed the Arcanine. So I'm thinking maybe we have some extreme speed turns, get him low enough where you can come and bring an Arcanine for an extreme speed. Yeah, we're doubling the slot because we know Iron Hands doesn't have Protect, and we're just taking it out and trying to set up an end game here.
As long as it's a 2v1 versus Ogerpon, and there are so many moments for Joe to make that happen, then he should be able to pick up the win here. Iron Hands does go down to the Fake Out Psychic combination.
Yeah, he's got it's All My Friends Are Dead syndrome. This Ivy Crunch might be enough with the crit. It's not without, and it's just looking like pretty tough on Luka's end to come back from
Here we
this.
go, especially still in Trick Room that Joe had decided to set up 2 turns ago, is going to make it very nice for this Ogerpon to be taking some damage here. This Iron Hands is going to be going first, or if the Spiky Shield does not go through.
Man, the Water Ogerpon, I'm not seeing too much out of it today. The Fire one, I saw just clean up, but the Water, I'm not seeing too much.
In this situation, yeah, I mean, it definitely.
Oh, I love the elaborate. Not in this situation. Maybe we'll give him another day.
We'll give him another day.
Oh my gosh. The Horn Leech, though, with that damage coming in, can it? Can it?
Well, okay, so let's not discount Wellspring Ogerpon just yet. How about?
Oh, no.
Because it's living these hits, and it's healing up with the Horn Leech. We've still got the Ivy Cudgel for big damage. Arcanine's going to come out. It has, like, no HP, 35 HP.
Oh, no.
The Intimidate's putting in work, but so has Swords Dance already, right? So here we go with whatever selection that Joe's deciding to make here is
So Flare Blitz is neutral because it's a grass water. So I wonder if you just go for Flare Blitz, but the Horn Leech isn't super effective, or is it neutral into Arcanine? So I'm wondering if he just goes for KO on the Arcanine.
Horn Leech is neutrally effective on the Arcanine. Hold on.
It's too much.
That's not enough.
Oh, and the speed's wrong.
The speeds were off. The Arcanine was, in fact, faster than the Ogerpon, making it slower in Trick Room.
We're finding that out too late. We need a Psychic. We need a Freeze.
We need a Freeze from Ice Beam. This is a neutrally effective Ice Beam on that. Swords Dance one more time because he knows he can.
I'm literally putting my foot in my mouth right now. This Ogerpon brought it back.
Absolutely.
Holy crap. I was just talking crap about, I mean, maybe I set that up. Maybe I didn't, but
it is time to eat your words about Wellspring Ogerpon for sure. For sure.
Oh, man.
Put them on a plate. Get yourself some nice cutlery. Num, num, num.
Hey,
delicious words.
Well, this is all too familiar. Oh, what? Whoa. Okay, I mean, letting him get off that Swords Dance is kind of crazy. It popped off there. And with the Horn Leech health replenished, that was amazingly done.
This is a very interesting moment for Joe because he realized just the speed difference between Hisuian and Wellspring Ogerpon. That was a catastrophic moment for him. Could have absolutely had that chance to do the extra damage in that Flare Blitz with a neutral attack, and then having Cresselia beside to get that little bit of extra damage in there as well.
Interesting. I mean,
now, extra to that though, is that maybe Joe underestimated the damage that Ogerpon did.
No, that Swords Dance is just brutal.
Because
+2.
using the Lunar Blessing on the Ogerpon, bring it not the Ogerpon, on the Arcanine,
Yep.
bringing it close to half, was not enough.
No,
for
it wasn't.
For
And
Joe.
I wonder if he thought it was going to be, or I think maybe he thought in his head that he was going to be underspeed it because they were in Trick Room, so
Sure.
overspeed it. And then he found out that maybe extreme speed was the play into that, and just do a little chip and try and do some psychic damage. But him healing up gave him more heals to heal back.
Going into this next situation, I'm interested to see if Joe's still going to put a lot of weight on Trick Room.
Oh, we're changing it up. We're going through the Game 3 differential. I'm going to try something different and close up this game.
Absolutely, yeah. Going into Game 3, it's 1-1. This is, again, Joe's chance to get into the top 8. He's currently sitting at 9th place. Luka is pretty confidently going into top 8.
Fighting for my life.
But Joe is fighting to get in there right now, absolutely.
All right, well, wonderfully, dude. Here we go, Game 3. Let's get it.
Going to be bringing.
This is going to be a good one.
Going to be bringing back that Arcanine in favor of the Iron Hands. If something's going to get fake outed, might as well be my hands.
These intimidates are going to be clutch for Joe. So Joe's going to probably bring in this Arcanine again. Why not make him -2? And I was looking at Luka's team sheet earlier. He does have a Lash Out Chin-Pow, which is interesting.
And there it is. Using it right there on the Iron Hands, doing some pretty good damage to it. I mean, it's sitting at around 66%. He's not too far off from the beginning of this game.
So we're outputting some damage here. We don't need any more intimidates. We just going all in. We're gonna bring these guys down to below 50%. Or on Joe's looks like he's thinking about, nope, we're gonna minus him up. We're gonna force him to switch. We're gonna lower his damage, and we're just gonna basically bring. Oh, the Flutter's the one switching out. So he's going into the heavy slam in the chin power, I think.
We shall see. Here comes the Arcanine in order to intimidate both of those Pokemon, Iron Hands and Chen-Pao. Iron Hands sitting now at -2, Chen-Pao sitting at -1. Chen-Pao going for the Ice Spinner on that Hisuian Arcanine. Not going to do that much thanks to the Intimidate. Iron Hands going for the Volt Switch, trying to get its attack back up. You do not want an Iron Hands on your team that doesn't have the attack to back it up. And see who he switches into. That's going to be Flutter. Yep. Absolutely.
I was kind of calling that, and it would have been nice to.
No,
oh, he did heavy slam.
There
he calls
it
it Joe.
Absolutely, Joe with the incredible read, trying to heavy slam.
He knew he had to switch out. He had 2 Pokemon. He had a -2 Iron Hands. There was no reason to be on the field anymore. It was a really safe play. The damage output wasn't there.
He had to have known.
A really good play by Joe.
Yep. And now at this point, Joe can take his time with this now. Bring in some bulkier Pokemon, maybe heal up a little bit, maybe set up a Trick Room if needed. This Chen-Pao is rather fast, so depending on what the last Pokemon that Luka has, this could be looking pretty nice for Joe so far.
Losing your Flutter Mane and a swap like that is a heart attack.
Yeah.
It's a heart attack.
Yeah.
You just lost your big damage dealer, and it's just thought you had a safe swap.
You thought you had it, and maybe you just didn't have it.
We're going to have to bring the EMT crew back again.
Well, I'll tell you right now that Luka swapping out that Chen-Pao is going to show us what he brought in the back. That is going to be Wellspring Ogerpon.
It's serious.
I love the substitution for Chen-Pao on this group of 4 here. Joe also opting for a switch here, going back into Cresselia.
This might be a nice Swords Dance might be coming up here.
It could be, but not this turn, of course, because the Iron Hands going for the flinch on the other Iron Hands is just going to make this turn like the last one didn't happen.
Trick Room again? I don't know. Is it better in this situation?
We'll see what he goes for. What can...
Gotta get rid of this Ogerpon.
Yeah.
Gotta get rid of it.
But the problem, again, is that Spiky Shield. At any point, he can now decide to use Spiky Shield.
Okay.
Does he attack the Iron Hands to get some damage in on? Does he attack the Ogerpon to get some damage on that? If he doubles into it, he's unlikely, to take out the Ogerpon.
Joe just needs to find his best way to get a Pokemon almost knocked out or getting close to knocked out so he can just get the last 2 Pokemon on the field and set up.
So out comes the Arcanine in place.
Good call there.
Going to intimidate the Ogerpon one time. Going to intimidate the Iron Hands one time.
And Spiky Shield.
Good Spiky Shield.
I
There
thought
it is.
maybe we're going to see a Swords Dance, but we are going to see kind of the read there. He's Drain Punching the other Iron Hands, taking him even lower. And Joe's is going to take a little bit of damage going into the Spiky Shield.
Joe decided to go for a half measure there, bringing the Cresselia out, bringing in the Intimidate to lower the attack of both of those Pokemon, while also attacking the Ogerpon, rather than just double into the Ogerpon, where, you know, Spiky Shield could just invalidate his turn completely.
Joe's Arcanine switch are really going to be pivotal here because Luka has 3 attacking Pokemon left. If he can just get rid of one of them, like I was saying earlier, he can just spam Intimidate, put them down to do no damage. But the problem with that is the Swords Dance.
Swords Dance exists. Exactly. Fluttermane comes in to threaten some big damage here. However, again, this is a very risky switch for Joe, as Luka could just choose to attack here. Both opponents could be losing their Fluttermane on switch. Now, here we go. The Iron Hands is deciding to go for the Terra Fire.
Interesting.
And the Arcanine going for the Flare Blitz. That's neutral.
We got to get rid of it. Ooh.
Oh, that's big damage.
Big damage.
Arcanine takes a bunch of recoil damage. Ogerpon goes for the Ivy Cudgel on the Hisuian Arcanine, just taking it out.
We needed that, I thought. And now it's gone. Oh, we just got to get rid of this Ogerpon, I guess. But
we'll see what happens to the Fluttermane. That
took him pretty well, but he's at -1, so it's doing pretty good. And we need these heals soon. We need some Crest heals. We need some fake outs. The Fluttermane's sitting good to take care of the Ogerpon, but with the Terra Fire and Iron Hands, we don't have a Shadow Ball. We have just an Icy Wind, so he's going to be forced to attack the Ogerpon here, but we're going to have to do some maneuvering because one more Wild Charge on the Flutter and it's done. No, it might be able to take another one, maybe.
Well, that's the thing about Cresselia, right, is you can actually bring your Fluttermane back into a livable state. Going to try and take out the Ogerpon here is definitely a consideration. Not sure, Joe right now is not sure if Ogerpon is going to be going for a Spiky Shield. He's not going to be going for a Spiky
Lunar
Shield.
Blessing Protect seems really safe, but he's going to... man, this is interesting. He outspeeds the Iron Hand at the Crest. I'm not sure, but it would be nice if he Moonblasts the Ogerpon, gets off a Lunar Blessing, heals up, lives the Wild Charge. He's going for Trick Room. He's going for Trick Room. Here we go. We do. Oh.
Ogerpon is going to hit the Spiky Shield here.
Oh, so yeah, we're definitely going to see a Wild Charge coming into the Flutter slot, and Joe's just going to set Trick Room. Does this kill? No, he Volt Switches. He leaves it alive.
Switch. The Volt Switch is huge, especially because now, because we all know that Joe is going to be setting up Trick Room, what's the Pokemon that's going to come in? It's Chen-Pao. Chen-Pao is faster, way faster, than the Cresselia by far. So this Trick Room is actually going to be very relevant in getting the HP of Flutter, or not the HP, yes, getting the HP of Fluttermane back up in this next turn.
Okay, we need some Lunar Blessings. No, we're still going for attacks here. So he goes for the Terra Fire Psychic on Ogerpon, and I'm not sure if, I'm pretty sure Flutter came back in, right? So
well, from Luka's perspective, I will say there is Sucker Punch from that Chen-Pao.
That's right.
Luka is sitting in a pretty decent position to go for an attack on Joe's side. You can take out the Fluttermane in this position. You could take out the Cresselia if you tried hard enough.
Interesting. Yeah, get rid of the Ogerpon, but he could live a Sucker with Terra, so that's interesting. I think that's what we're going for.
The Fluttermane can win a Sucker with Terra?
I think it can.
Well, let's see.
It's going to be close.
Let's see.
Okay, the Iron Hands is coming into a Psychic turn. It's still not enough because it's Terra Fired, so it's just going to take a little chip. And
well, here we go with Terastallization.
Yep.
That's going to be on the Fluttermane right there.
We're going to have to see if Luka did go for the Sucker on Flutter, and he just basically gets it down to its Focus Sash.
It's invisible. Oh, that one. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you see?
Joe was hoping for a live.
Taking out that Fluttermane with the Sucker Punch does happen to just be enough damage to take that out. Both players having lost their Fluttermane. We're sitting in a tough position now because Joe just lost a big damage dealer on his side.
Man, this Crest isn't, it's not doing, setting up the Trick Room, that's great, but then that's about it.
now the Iron Hands does not have all that much HP to speak for. So let's see if Joe can pull it back, or if Luka, sitting in his more dominant position right now, will be able to take out that Iron Hands. If he takes out that Iron Hands, it's just Crest versus the world.
It does protect. I was kind of calling that Luka would go for protect here, and
Okay.
Joe calls it right, so he's going to Drain Punch into that. Or he's going to fake it out first, get some heals up, right, with the Lunar Blessing.
It's entirely possible. Here we
Yep.
go. Yep, there's the Lunar Blessing.
Okay.
He is going to heal up the Iron Hands. Again, needs that Iron Hands to survive
Okay.
in this game.
This is good, because he now, Trick Room's still up, he gets another Lunar Blessing, and he's going to Drain Punch the open Chen Pao slot and get a massive health regain.
Yeah, having Trick Room up is definitely a great
All right, it's kind of working
ally
out now.
to
It's
Joe
kind of
here.
working out now. Interesting. So does he vouch to swap here and save his sash, or does he let Iron Hands get this health back?
Absolutely. We see Nina likes an underdog here.
Oh,
Wants to see it happen.
God. I'm
Wants
on
to
the
see it
edge of my
happen.
seat, guys. Sorry you can't see me. I'm like
He
focused
truly
in right
is.
now.
Absolutely.
Does
He's
take it
going
out.
to withdraw
He's
the
going to
Chen
wait
Pao.
for Trick Room to end, I think.
Well, you have-
Ogre Pond coming in.
You have a lot of opportunity here to keep your Chen Pao alive
He's
if you
gonna
switch into
sack
the
it.
Ogre Pond. If you're sacking off the Ogre Pond, what you could do next turn by bringing in the Chen Pao is just protect again, just to make sure that that Trick
I
Room
think
does run out.
this is either one or one more turn left of Trick Room, so we'll find out here at the end of this turn. But if it's not this turn, it's definitely the next turn. Drain Punch coming in, not enough. So
Does quite a bit of damage there. At this point, I'm a little worried that Sucker Punch might do as much damage as it needs to here. However, Cresselia with the Lunar Blessing makes it so that doesn't happen.
this is working out now. Okay, all hope is not lost yet. Come on.
We like Luka here too. Here comes the Chen Pao
Oh my God.
coming out onto the field, sitting at
I'm
full HP
speaking
still.
for everyone watching the match, not just for myself. Trick Room did not end. I didn't see a Trick Room text there, so I think we're still in Trick Room. Yes, we are,
Correct,
and we're going to
yes.
waste it this turn. We're going to get another Lunar Blessing. Did we call the Protect? Yes, we did. Easily done. Doing a nice tidbit of damage there. Getting health back. Getting the Lunar Blessing recalled there, too, as well.
And here comes the Drain Punch, bringing the Iron Hands back up. Lunar Blessing is going to, again, like this is keeping
It's
the,
working. It's
yeah.
working now.
Yep, keeping the Iron Hands up is huge here.
Oh, man. So now the Twin Dimensions have returned to normal. Do we go? Joe selects this move so freaking fast.
He does.
He's always done that.
That's why I don't even look. I just wait to see what happens. Here comes the Ice Spinner on the Iron Hands here. Lunar Blessing is going to heal up that Iron Hands, though.
This could happen.
Here comes Drain Punch. That does not take out the Iron Hands. This is going to be Joe's chance to do some big damage on Chen Pao.
I think he doubled the. Did he double? No, he has
Attack the Chen Pao, take the HP. You really want to attack the largest HP Pokemon at this point, just so you can heal up what you need to heal.
Did he Ice Beam it? Did he Ice Beam it?
No, he Lunar Blessing.
Oh, he did that first?
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, man. This is getting crazy. Now, what do we do on Luka's side? Do we protect? Do we not let Chen Pao go down? Do we let Chen Pao support his Iron Hands? Chen Pao is also helping Joe's Iron Hands, too, to get damage back. So this is...
That is absolutely true.
Oh, my gosh. Is this a blessing or a curse?
Is it a blessing or a curse? Could this end up being Cresselia against Iron Hands?
He does go for Lash Out. Is not enough. Crest is too big.
Crest is big.
Lunar Blessing again.
That's a very effective Lunar Blessing.
Joe's looking pretty confident.
Being able to heal Cresselia and Iron Hands in this situation. That's a lot of effective HP that was just taken. And Cresselia surviving because of this.
Crest finally doing work, and it's doing it so good. Joe is looking pretty good. I think there's, with the health, with the Drain Punch recovery, I think Joe is maybe sitting to lock this in.
Nino's sitting there rubbing his hands together like some evil mastermind.
No.
Over here, it's still an interesting situation for Luka, I think.
Okay, Lunar Blessing coming up first. We know that's always going to go first. But now Chen Pao's off the field, so Luka doesn't have that boost that he had before, but either does Joe. But Luka's missing one thing that Joe has.
A friend?
A friend.
This is tragic.
It's too beefy, so I don't know if he's going for a crit here to try and get rid of it, but now he's wasting his own health while charging, and the opposing Iron Hands or Joe's Iron Hands has gotten to full health now.
it is so satisfying to me to see an Iron Hands go so low and then come all the way back up to full HP. That is a win for Joseph Ugarte, winning 2-1 against Luka.
I think what Joe did in Game 3, he was trying to do in Game 2, but it just didn't work out as well. But in this case, he got positioned correctly where Crest was healing Hands, Hands was hitting the right slots, he was calling the right protects, and it was a well-played set. And again, a foot in the mouth. I just said Crest hasn't been doing anything, and then Crest carries the game.
I believe that's what the folks at home call Leon a bit top with Hands. Over here, we pretty needs pretty great. So we're going to be able to talk with him.
The famous Joe UX9.
What's up?
Hoodies
there
off.
He is.
Beast mode unleashed.
Yeah, I was so scared in that end game. That was like more stress than I ever needed.
Bro, you brought it back like he did in Game 2. Tell me about Game 2. Like, it seemed like Game 3 you successfully did what you tried to do in Game 2.
Yeah. So, Game 2 was interesting because I should have had it locked up, but I just kind of was like, oh, the Ogre Pawn's like obviously going to be faster because it's an Ogre Pawn, right?
Yeah, we were shocked as you.
And then I click Flare Blitz and I see it go first. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here?
We were right there.
What I should have done is just
we all three enjoyed that same. We're all the same. We're like, he's setting up because he's. Oh wait,
he's not last.
Yeah, no, exactly. For a second, I was like in my head. I'm like, wait, was Trick Room like not up? Was I like actually? I was actually like in my own head for a second. But the Game 2 was definitely like I was playing more aggressive after seeing like how Game 1 played out, right? Kind of getting a better idea of like the opponent's tendencies, how they're playing, and that's kind of how it goes throughout a set, right? But it was definitely like very stressful.
Go ahead. No, I want to hear what you're saying.
No, I was like, did you feel what turn at the Game 3? It seemed like the last two turns you knew you had it, but the couple turns before then, what were you worried about?
I thought I was about to lose. I genuinely thought I was about to lose in Game 3 when I was on low HP because I don't know if maybe the opponent was like knew our Iron Hands speed tied. I think that's what it was because it seemed like our Iron Hands were speed tying from my understanding. Maybe they didn't want to risk like the fake out into Chen Pao when they go for fake out and Ice Spitter on my hands. So maybe that's why they went for the Drain Punch. But I just went for the fake out on hands because I'm like, if you protect Pao and I fake out your hands, I at least have a chance, right?
Right.
And then it ended up working out from there. But it was definitely really stressful. Like I think in like maybe like 2 of 3 scenarios, I probably lose that, right? If I lose a speed tie on fake out and they go for it, or if I, get the read wrong, right? So it was definitely really spooky, but I'm glad it worked out, right?
You knew he had to protect that one turn, and then just doubling the hands there just really put the momentum in your favor.
Just getting the Lunar Blessing off. Like, Crest was literally on Lunar Blessing duty. It was doing nothing
Dude,
else. It was just spamming it.
I was saying that Crest
had a job.
Joe was trying to make this Crest work, and finally Game 3 it did the work. Finally, I'm like, it was okay. This is what he meant to do. Good.
He did it.
Showed.
I want to know your opinion on Ogre Pawn.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a ton of Ogre Pawn played here. You are decidedly not bringing Ogre Pawn. Why is that?
So I wanted to bring something similar to what I've been using previously. So this is pretty similar to what I used at Pittsburgh.
Right.
Thank you, James, by the way, for the original team. Ended up changing some stuff, but it's been really good so far. Overall, I didn't use Ogre Pawn because personally for me, I don't like the Pokemon that much. I feel like it kind of overtakes a lot of teams sometimes. So like if you're using the fire one, you have to build a team around the fire one. If you use the water version, it's fine, but to me it didn't really feel better than like some of the other options I could try.
Sure.
I don't think it's a bad Pokemon though. I think actually on the right teams it's really strong. I just think that in general, it needs to be on the right team. It needs the right partners around it, and I just didn't really feel comfortable with any team that like had Ogre Pawn on it because I didn't feel comfortable with the partners around it. So
fair. What are you not, or what are you looking forward to go into the rest of this tournament?
Well, honestly, like I'm just really happy I cut. If you guys don't know, I started 2-2 actually yesterday. So I had a rough. I started 2-0, then I lost 2 in a row, and I'm like, oh man, 2-2, and like you have to do this 2-2 to cut thing again, and then I was actually able to like do it. So feels pretty good. So honestly, like I'm feeling really good going into top 8. Like I think a lot of pressure is off of me because I feel like I was able to bring back from like a really bad start and just gonna do my best,
Well, James Evans won 2. We're gonna see both the 2 of these teams in top 8.
It's gonna be fun.
We were saying we got to have our teams play in finals.
Did you win? We are confirmed. We are seeing James and Joe's team both in top 8.
Very cool.
So, but hey,
That's
man,
right. He gave you the shout out. Don't worry.
I rooted for you. I had a little It's biased in
Absolutely.
there. I want my boy to Joe win, and he came through, man. Good job, bro. Nice to watch you play, bro.
Thank you guys.
Pleasure
Take
to
it easy.
commentate.
Hello, chat. Maybe Sierra if you're watching. All right, see ya.
Amazing. Well, that is it for the top 32. We're now moving into the top 8.
Top 8. And
Very exciting time.
And for the chat, I have it confirmed. We found Wolfey.
We found him.
We found him.
We're going to need as many people in the chat as possible to be like, where's Wolfey?
We got to do that first? Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Well, we're doing a game show. We're doing a
Wolfey,
game show anyway. So
We are going to
while we continue to find Wolfey, we're going to play a little game coming up here.
Exactly. We are going into Knockout. So be excited for that. But again, one more time, just before we head into a quick break while we get set up for that, let's talk one more time about Control.
Good old Control.
Good old Control, the protein cookie, the meal replacement